All right, time for your Georgia Bulldogs post-game report. Also, halftime reports for Penn State, West Virginia, and South Carolina, North Carolina. The second half getting underway in both of those. How about South Carolina coming out and kicking an onside kick to start the third quarter and recovering it? Or did they? What they did? I thought they did, but now North Carolina's got anyway. North Carolina 17, South Carolina 14, Penn State 14, West Virginia 7. 2 minutes to go in the Georgia game. Dogs intercepted. Pick six. Pick six, doggies. Mad about it? You mad about it? So I thought it was going to be final score 41-7, but I guess the final score is going to be 48-7. Minute 59 to go. Georgia with a pick six, 47-7. Extra point will make it 48. I'm going to try not to overreact too much to what I saw here in the Georgia game. First of all, a little bit predictable here, but there are a million people running around crying about Mike Bobo. I didn't see anything wrong with the play calling in this game outside of that one play call that I talked about at the halftime video where it was the end of the second quarter. We had no timeouts left, ball on the 5-yard line, and you run it up the middle with a 5-foot-tall, 80-pound walk-on. Of course, you gain no yards. The clock's running. You can't stop the clock, so you have to spike the ball on second. That was bad. But other than that, I thought Mike Bobo called a pretty good game. Carson Beck, I'm going to give him maybe a B-. Look, the offense did not play well in the first quarter. The offense punted on 2 of their first 3 possessions or 3 of their first 4. It was either 2 of their first 3 or 3 of their first 4 possessions. The offense punted. They got going a little bit in the second quarter. The third quarter, I thought they sort of calmed down a little bit and played a lot better. And then by the end of the third quarter, most of the starting offensive players were out. Brock Vandagriff was in at quarterback. Eventually, Gunnar Stockton came in and played quarterback in the fourth quarter. I thought Brock Vandagriff and Gunnar Stockton actually looked really, really good. Really good. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna get on here with the bench Carson deal. I thought Carson played okay for his first start. I think obviously he's got to play. He'll improve. Really, the 2 issues with this game to me that stand out the most were the offensive line and the run game. And of course, those 2 things are tied together. The offensive line did not play well at all, period, in the first half of this game. There's no excuse to make. There's no logical reasoning behind it. They just didn't play well. And for a group that has been talked about all offseason, not by Georgia fans, but by national analysts and pundits and everybody as potentially being the best offensive line group in the country, I can tell you right now they're a long way from that right now. If there's one area on this team I would have to say needs to improve the most right now, it's offensive line. The running game was also a little hit or miss. I know we're without Branson Robinson, but you're going to be without him for the entire year. Daison Edwards didn't play today either. You had basically Kendall Milton a little bit, though he was limited because he's coming off an injury. A lot of Cash Jones, a little bit of that true freshman Roderick Robinson, and Andrew Paul, who's a redshirt freshman coming off of an ACL injury that he suffered right before last season started. So it's kind of a mishmash, hodgepodge, as far as the running back, I can't believe I just did that. As far as the running back situation goes, I haven't looked at any of the final game stats or anything like that. So this is kind of just my raw reaction just to seeing the game in real time live on TV. As far as the defense goes, especially the first unit, absolutely lights out. There's really nothing much to nitpick. UT Martin's quarterback got loose a couple of times on some runs. Maybe you'd like to see that tightened up before Georgia plays a team maybe down the road that's more talented with a running quarterback. But per usual, Georgia's defense showed up ready to go. The offense sputtered out of the gate, turned it on a little bit in the second quarter, and I thought really hit their stride in the third quarter before being benched for all the starters. The South Carolina-North Carolina game, a little bit right and a little bit wrong in terms of my thoughts there. I said I had a hard time picking the North Carolina-South Carolina game, and I said, well, I guess I'm going to go with North Carolina because they can run the ball and South Carolina can't. Well, South Carolina at halftime had 5 yards rushing. 5. South Carolina's run game doesn't even exist. You couldn't find it with a telescope, a periscope, a magnifying glass, and a compass. It's absolutely horrible. However, North Carolina's is not all that much better, and neither quarterback is. A lot of people had the idea that this game may be a shootout, and like I said, the third quarter just started. North Carolina's up 17-14, so a lot of time to go, and who knows? Maybe both these teams end up getting into the 40s, but it's been a little bit more low scoring than I thought, and while both quarterbacks have played okay, and in fact, they played really good at times, they're not putting up the numbers that I thought they would put up against these opposing defenses. So maybe that means the pass defenses for both teams are a little bit better than what we thought. I don't know. Spencer Rattler's numbers are pretty good, very high completion percentage. Drake May, kind of doing Drake May stuff, runs the ball a little bit. His numbers aren't very high. Penn State, West Virginia, another one that's a lot closer than I thought it would be. I thought Penn State maybe would run away with that one. And like I said, it's only halftime, so who knows? Maybe Penn State does run away with it in the second half. But a one-score game at halftime there. Drew Allar looks like a real deal QB. That I will say. Again, it's not so much about the numbers or even the score of the game as it is just kind of watching him play. He looks like kind of what you would look for in a quarterback. He can make all the throw. He's just, if you're watching the game, I feel like just when I say nobody can run the ball, North Carolina with a rushing touchdown, they're going to extend their lead. Omarion Hampton with a 1-yard rushing touchdown, they're going to extend their lead to 10 over South Carolina here. Carson Beck final numbers, 21 of 31, 294 yards with two touchdowns. So Heisman numbers, no. Good enough numbers for a Georgia quarterback in almost any game, yeah. And first start, obviously not just him, but the offense, like I said, early jitters. But anyway, what was I saying? Nothing important. So just quick updates here. Shout out to Southern Cal. With 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, they've only given up 14 points so far. That's a minor miracle. They're playing Nevada, but this is Southern Cal we're talking about. It really doesn't matter who they're playing. And they've held Nevada to 40 yards rushing. Wow, that's unbelievable that Southern Cal could hold anybody to 40 yards rushing. Nevada does have 259 yards passing, but 59-14, Southern Cal all over Nevada. The Alabama game is on. I know. Kansas State looked really good today. 45-0, they're winning in the fourth quarter. Lewis, Southeast Missouri. Look, a lot of teams are playing terrible teams this weekend. They're not all winning 45-0. I mean, Kansas State looked good. Lost Deuce-Vaughn, but the quarterback is back. Kansas State looked good. Texas A&M, don't look now. I tried to tell you all about Connor Wegman. Look, Texas A&M's problem offensively was not players. It was philosophy and play calling. And if Jimbo Fisher gets out of the way and lets Petrino do his thing, they could potentially be a dangerous team. And Connor Wegman at halftime had 4 touchdown passes. They're up right now into the third quarter, 42-10 over New Mexico. So they're looking good. We're going to get to Alabama. Don't worry. Got something to say on that too. You already know. If you don't know, you should know. All right, okay, here you go. Alabama, 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. They're up 41-0. And I know what y'all want to know. What about Jalen Mildew? Mildew's 13 of 18, 194 yards, 3 touchdowns. And again, that's with still 10 minutes to go in the third quarter. So, you're going to tell me it's Middle Tennessee State, and I'm going to tell you I know it's Middle Tennessee State. Miami played Middle Tennessee State last year. I know that was last year. 13 of 18 is good for Mildew. And more importantly than that, 194 yards on only 18 pass attempts. That's good. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Again, Heisman quarterback? No. Playing great? Yes. He's also got 2 rushing touchdowns. Mildew's got 5 touchdowns. Alabama has scored 6 touchdowns. Mildew is responsible for 5 of them. 3 through the air and 2 on the ground. He's run for 48 yards. The concerning part to me, and again, this is week 1. We're nitpicking on really good teams. We talked about Ohio State earlier, Georgia at 6, now Alabama. Alabama's got 125 yards rushing. Their leading rusher is Jalen Mildew. Jace McClellan, 10 carries for 39 yards. That's 4 yards a carry. That's not getting it done. Roydell Williams, 7 carries, 36 yards. Where's Justice Haynes? Don't know. Milk Carton Award for him after all the Alabama fans spent the entire offseason telling me he was winning the Cy Young Award or whatever the fuck it is they were claiming. But anyway, yep, Alabama up big over Middle Tennessee State. Third quarter underway there in that 2-2. What else is going on? Penn State has scored again, by the way, 21-7. They're up. Just talked about North Carolina and South Carolina. Shocker in the making here. Toledo is beating Illinois 19-14. Illinois was supposed to be pretty good again. You know, maybe they were pretty good last year. It was a surprise last year, but this year, people expected their offense maybe to get a little bit better. They had a great defense last year. They're losing to Toledo 19-14. Tulane's up on South Alabama 24-10. Virginia Tech might actually get a win. They're up 16-10 at halftime over Old Dominion. That's unbelievable and amazing, both at the same time. Texas Tech, a lot of people's dark horse pick to win the Big 12, up 17-3 over Wyoming. Your defending national champion Georgia Bulldogs start the season off 1-0 with an absolutely dominating win over something called UT Martin. Yeah. Hopefully we can improve because next week we got to play Ball State. How you doing down there?
Good.
Didn't you go to Nut State or no? No. She said no. She didn't go to. Yeah, we play Ball State. You didn't go to Nut State?
Didn't go to Nut State.
Okay, play Ball State next week. Man, hope Georgia can improve a little bit before we play Ball State next week. Schedule gets tough now, huh? You know, Georgia's got a pretty tough schedule this year. Probably going 8-4, 7-5, something like that. What else do we want to talk about before I end this video? Trying to figure out what if I should turn the troll level up. Well, troll level always stays turned up, but how high to turn the troll level up in this video? Not quite sure. Anyway, your season is over video comes out tomorrow. Yeah. Man, it's going to be a good one. Who's going to be on there? South Carolina or North Carolina? West Virginia or Penn State? We know who. Well, Florida will be on there. Nebraska. Yeah, you'll go ahead and be on there too. Who else? Oh, yeah, TCU.